Sure. How long?
Well, is your schedule open? I mean, we've been talking for a while already.
Yeah, I think we should do 10 minutes.
Okay.
All right. That feels good to me right now.
Alrighty. Okay, go right ahead.
So in the past, like Rita and I have been like always like continually talking about, what is this coaching thing? And we've had so many talks over the years and over, probably over lifetimes, who knows how long. Um, but we've gotten to a place over the years where it feels just it doesn't feel like coaching and it doesn't feel like marketing. It doesn't feel like, bringing in clients. Of course, there are all those little administrative things to do. But when we're open and we have our hearts open and we're giving from that authentic place and we decide, oh, this is the topic that we're talking about. We're just going to give that out to the world because it's something that we're touching on that's ourselves. And maybe somebody else can benefit from that topic or a video or a talk on that or something like that. And it's just we are giving of the apples, and the apples come back. And people, it's interesting. It's not about sales. It's about sharing ourselves and our experience, and about being present with other people, allowing them the space to cry, allowing them the space to be, allowing themselves time and in relationship. We're almost like a soul friend rather than the stereotype of a coach. And I actually like that term, soul friend, because it also taps into the whole Celtic side of things. But it's people have started talking about us like that. They're like, Scott, you're not just a coach. You are that presence, that mirror that I can see for myself, and you walk alongside me. And that soul friend title is probably the best thing that comes about that we can even put words on. So what does a soul friend do but walk beside someone and walk, in their pain, in their struggle, and hold the space for that. Be present when they have breakthroughs, be present when they have pain, be present when they suffer, and allow them that space to be quiet enough to feel the pain and feel the suffering rather than the chattery mind. And what it feels like work sometimes. It feels like play sometimes. It feels like struggle up the river, and it feels like flowing down a waterfall. And you hope for the waterfall when you're struggling up the river, and then when you have the waterfall, you realize that struggling up the river has all been worth it, or at least it got you there to the waterfall, and there's going to be more struggling in the future. So but it's a natural space, and it's not pushed. It's authentic. You're actually navigating your own river rather than a river pushing you. So it's been great, and I think we've actually had to come into the space where it felt like astronomical to us to think that someone was going to pay us what they paid us, but we have to let go of that because it's this natural where we honor someone else with that with that being able to share their abundance somehow. It's like a gift. It feels like a gift rather than a fee. It feels like giving back, and when someone gives us that gift and our presence to that exchange, we then exchange that. We can make more videos. We can reach more people. We make great DVDs of these videos we talk about and that we just create. And there's expenses, and the more that we tap into that, we can actually feel abundant. And Rita's art sales are selling. She's able to paint more. She's able to surround herself with folks and go to the conferences or stay home and be quiet whenever she wants. And it all just came about authentically. It wasn't out of a need for the chattery mind to like race to it. It was a natural progression, and it may have been a different path than some other folks, but this was an authentic path, and people come to us, I believe now, because this is that middle path. It's authentic, it's different, and we've done our work. If we hadn't done our work, we'd be just like everyone else. And we tongue-in-cheek call ourselves different things, and allow our clients or our soul friends or our guests or whatever we call them by their name and their person, to just show up as themselves, and it's no pretense. And if we put on the pretense, we probably wouldn't have reached this loving kindness type of abundance we have. It feels much better. It feels anchored in something much more authentic. And I never thought I'd be here at this point, because you see all these things. It's like, that's what happens when you get quiet, when you shut out all those things around you. When you get quiet, you actually can tap into this other stream where you're anchored in that, and it's a whole new world. And we hope that a lot of folks get quiet. We genuinely want other folks to get quiet and just to join us. It's like they're like, come join us and play in our sandbox. It's not about well, you're cured, thanks, and let's write up another contract. It's authentic, and it happens. And yeah, it's a struggle when we had to do other things in the financially first to keep this going, but so did our clients, so did the people who came to us. And so we had to walk that path so that they could get permission, that we had to walk that too. And it wasn't about setting us up here while they struggle still, even a financial monetary struggle. So yeah, and the abundance things came easily. I mean, whatever people think of abundance, I stepped into living more simply. And it allowed me to have like a simple, RV and a place to go home to. And I could travel, I could speak more, I could talk to more people, I could produce a DVD, I could do all these things, and it create just those things that we treat money more of like a vehicle to help others rather than a vehicle for just self-indulgence. There are little self-indulgences I'll probably always have, like going to my coffee shops or going to science fiction conventions. It's just me being me, and then me sharing. So that's what it is. It's me sharing, others sharing, me being me, and we're all taken care of. And it's just a whole new world, and we love it.
Yeah. Oh, you're pretty close.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just let me finish up at just
Okay.
that the most important lessons were more like the being quiet was the most important lesson, and giving yourself that space to be authentic. And I never thought that like the most important thing that I could learn about was meditation and that quiet myself. That was the most important thing. And the most important things are like the university in the backyard of the university near where I live, the woods in the backyard of the college. That is the real school that taught me all this. And spend 4 years in one school, or you spend 4 years in another. And the 4 years in the school of the woods taught me so much more than the 4 years in the school of academia. And that's the piece of me that I want to bring forward every day to people who meet me as their soul friend or their coach or whatever title they want to put on me. Maybe I'll put coach on a website, but you know, I'll just introduce myself as their soul friend, your soul traveler through this journey. And it feels right.
Nice.
Whew. Don't know where that came from.
Yeah, well, it came. Yeah.
These are like almost like testimonial videos that are so important and so real foundational to get to know someone, even from that perspective, because it's really what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Right? Yeah, there was a lot in there.
People see you for who you really are rather than, this scripted, come to me and this is what you'll accomplish.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I'm talking. Your turn.
Shall I go with the supercharge? I think I should.
Okay.
I'll go for 5.
Woo.
Let me get a drink here.
Mm-hmm. When I gave reading, oh my gosh, I never knew like the voice could like get so crazily scratchy. So go ahead.
Yeah. So Scott and I, we had this question come up about what are we really doing, and I watched you get really clear in what it was, which was quite a privilege and a joy to watch. And because we both had this hesitancy about the whole coaching phenomenon. We wanted to just get clear on what exactly we're doing. And you, just spending time in the woods and coming up with these terms like School of the Woods, that was just like something that drew in people. It was like a magnet, that something inside, that old human thing, School of the Woods, that human thing inside of us connecting to the earth, that term just started drawing people in. And the real thing was, the real thing we wanted to get clear on was, what is it to offer what we have and not make it about profiting off of other people's pain or misery or whatever their crisis, something like that. We really just wanted to offer from a place of giving and love, and somehow in this world be supported and share abundance. And so even though you and I started from a place of not a lot of financial abundance, we had real currency to share. And we were interested in doing that. We wanted to share it. And we realized that what's the point of other people making all this money? It's to share it and receive things back from sharing it. I mean, that's how money works. You give it out and you get something back. And so, like, not sharing the currency we have would be like being misers and hoarding our money, if that's the currency that we were able to deal in at that in the beginning stages of our working together. So once that sort of settled out, you came up with that share their abundance. So you and I have this ability to get quiet, and we just got more and more and more sure in that being a very valuable thing, and that not everybody has that. So it's like we're the 1%ers of quiet. we're we're the oligarchs of quiet. But we want we want to share it rather than keep it all and get more for ourselves. And we want more people in our club. And so once we got clear on that, and you started really sharing that with your clients, and they were feeling it, and that became a real flow back and forth, their currency for your currency. And that's really how nature works. In a, you know, the rain has a currency, and the tree soaks it up and then provides its currency, and it feeds the deer and the birds and everybody else. So that was 5 already. Oof.
I like that currency thing. I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our gifts are our currency. Our ability to be quiet and to share that is our currency.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and yeah, I think that there are people, tons and tons of people who are really lacking that ability.
Mm-hmm.
Can't shut the mind from spinning to save their lives. Let me get my thing going. Okay, so here it is a year after we started, beginning of 2019, and you and I are just, things just keep unfolding, and we're getting really comfortable in just allowing that to happen. And it's becoming really normal to have something presented and just go, oh, all right, I hadn't thought about that. I'll just try it, even though that's weird and a little scary. I'm just going to do it. And so, like in the beginning of you and I starting our Kylegos and developing our program, doing videos was just really weird to me, and showing up on camera and talking, and fairly early on, well, after I sent out the email about our first program, someone wrote back to me and said, oh, you're so wise, and just, you look so happy. And I thought, really? What? Because most of the time I feel like an idiot, especially when I'm talking. But that, I realized that people see me very differently than I see myself. And that was part of us getting clear. And then doing the Kylegos and the supercharging is watching someone else see you. So seeing your reflection differently than you believe you're showing up, or differently than the story you've been led to believe that you show up as, if that makes sense. So that, we started feeling the value of that, and presenting that to the people who came into our programs. And we got really, like, I had been quiet for so long, it was almost like, okay, I'm ready. I have 5 years of total quiet already built up in my bank account, and I'm ready to share it. And that's when people started to just really connect with, oh my gosh, when I wake up in the middle of the night and my mind starts racing and then I can't focus the next day the way I need to focus, this would really be a benefit to my health, to my relationships, to my business, to everything. And please, I have plenty of money, but I don't have quiet in my own mind and my own body. And we realized we just really stepped into the value of what we had to offer. And I never would have, like, I knew that my paintings were all pretty calm and quiet, but before this, I didn't really have the way to express the value to other people. It was always about, you know, being in school and learning to be an artist. It was always about technique and the outcome within the frame and getting judged and critiqued based on that. And there's nothing quiet and loving about that, about being judged and critiqued. So there was like something that just never connected until Scott asked me to help him with this coaching program, which I wouldn't have done on my own. And so that was really a gift for me, that in itself. And we started to connect with people who really are, you know, quote unquote, above us in a financial realm, which in this society makes us less than. But we declined that status, and because we stepped into that real value of what we do have to offer. And then these people in the higher financial realms, they wanted what we have. And so we started connecting with people in more of the corporate world and just seeing the intense need for what we're able to offer, and just feeling so filled up by being able to just, like, people didn't know you could do this. Oh my God, I work 9 hours a day and then I rush home and I get the kids, and it just goes over and over again. And they just don't even know that this is available. And we didn't fully understand that until we started connecting with these corporate workers, CEOs, and various other managers and salespeople. And it just rippled outward with the way they do business. And that started to change from our little place. They have contact with so many people that it had a ripple effect that we never could have even imagined. And so my painting sales started to increase because they wanted to take a little piece of them of me and the quiet they felt with you and me into their office. And so they could practice what they were learning with us every day. And because they're in an office setting, then more people, well, where'd you get that? Oh man, it's these coaches that I've been talking to. And here's the website. And it just all unfolded easily. And so from that, you and I just stopped. We're done designing anything. We're done directing or being bossy in any way, because we don't know what we're doing in that regard. Just let it unfold. And that was a message that went along with our quiet. You know, you're a CEO, you got to tell this guy to do that one and tell her to, you got to delegate all these things. And they just started letting people offer their expertise in their positions within their corporations. And people became happier in their jobs. And, you know, we didn't even know half the stuff that was improving because of the work we were doing with the people that we had face-to-face contact with. But who cares? We could just feel like we could feel it energetically coming back to us. Besides the obvious and the monetary benefits that we were receiving. And so now it's just like, yeah, we don't have a pay stub like most of the clients that we work with, but we know that next month is taken care of, and the month after that will be too, and that because we're just in the flow, and we know the universe is going to take care of us because we see the benefit of what we're doing. And so even my stories, my scripts, like meeting with producers, this whole coaching thing and meeting with Scott and doing the Kylegos and being on camera, all it did was make it totally easy to meet with these high powered film executives. And I like walk in the room and they go, huh, you're not like most of the writers. Most of them are, you know, like nervous and weird, and you just right here. Let's work together. Let's make a movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. There's an echo. Your
oh, is there?
your speaker is echoing back.
Oh, did it just start?
I think so. That's better now. It's not echoing now.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Maybe it's my computer. I don't know.
Okay.
Supercharge?
Yep. Go ahead.
Well, and Rita has her own approach to these things. Like, it's a few years later from when we started doing this, you know, coaching thing. And you know, one of the things that Rita does when we meet with corporate groups or corporate you know, corporate or retreats, or, you know, whomever we're talking to, you know, we've actually branched out to like also meet in person with some of these places, people who are, was for me also was like out of my comfort zone. But I like how Rita now, she brings her art along and she talks about the story of art in a perspective that is just, that they can so relate. About, you go through art school, you are also judged the same way with your study, your practice. You put it in a frame and it's judged and it's sales and it's complete, and you have your self-worth and your self-esteem all wrapped up into, you know, the product. And how she explained it from an artist's point of view about being caught in a frame with her painting, even something that they saw as very beautiful, but then she could actually open that up to like the artist's mind and frame, and like just frame it in a way that they totally understood, you know, and to know that what they were doing was positive in the world, but they were inside of a frame. And you know, her whole concept turned into this whole unshackled thing. And how we've developed this whole unshackled and free mindset when we go and talk to these corporate folks. And it's so fun because they see the value in things, and then we have them break out and they start doing like Kylegos. And we joke that we tell the managers, we're joking, like, okay, there'll be a line to your HR department anytime soon for people to resign, so you better get ready. And so that's kind of a fun joke that we have, but sometimes it does happen. So it's kind of a fun thing. But as we started doing these things, like executives would send, all we would have to do is say, we're having a retreat in Duluth, Minnesota, way up north, and these folks would say, I'm flying this person and this person and this person out to you. And all we would have to put on there is just send out to our list of folks, we're doing another workshop in Black Duck, Minnesota. We could have said Black Duck, Minnesota, and they would go to the nearest hotel and fly and do that there. So the most remote parts, because it's the woods, we always find places where there's an aspect of woods and nature nearby so that people can understand what it really means to be quiet. And but it's turned into this playful nature where things come our way. And yeah, we really share this idea of, and that Rita came up with, of sharing our currency. And Rita was so good in those earlier days, and now she's even better about standing in that truth about this is our currency. And sometimes you only have money as a currency to share. Can you share money with your 2-year-old child? And will that be a value? Can you share money with your spouse who just wants them to say that they love you? And is that a value? Can you share your cash with a tree? I mean, so we really step into, and Rita was so prolific in those times of stepping into that point where we really own the currency, and we really also are checking in the present. Like, where's our currency lie? Are we putting our currency and ourselves in a frame that's of judgment, of evaluation, of just, I am beginning to end a product cycle? And a lot of folks really identified with that because they felt that in their work. I am just at the middle point of my product cycle of usefulness for my company, or of usefulness for this industry. And they felt that that was their only currency and their only worth. And through these things, and Rita's artworks just took off, of course. Sometimes I feel like I'm just like the extra sidekick for her art and for her getting quiet, because so many people are so focused on Rita and her experience as an artist because they really want that. Me, I'm a web designer, and I did that, and so they understand, oh yeah, Scott, we know the IT world. Yeah, you were in it too. So I'm still working on my narrative. I can sometimes just be kind of humor about HR departments, but Rita is the focus a lot, and her paintings are selling like hotcakes, and people talk about that story of being unframed and unevaluated because they have a painting of hers in their office.
Nice. Nice. Very nice.